Welcome everybody to Mary Pierce Field in Arlington, Massachusetts, where we have Arlington High School football action in their last regular season game of the year. We have the Arlington Spy Ponders taking on Winchester football. Alongside Brendan Locke, my name is Nick Antonakis. And Brendan, why don't you talk me through what we've seen so far from Arlington this year and what we hope to see from them in this game so far?
Well, we have two teams in very different places in their season right now, Nick. Winchester is 1-6 coming off of a tough season, but they've had a lot of close losses, a lot of one-possession losses. They hung with Reading until the third quarter. They were down 7-0 to Masco at half and ended up losing that one. It's a lot of close losses where the team is pulled away. Arlington, a much different story. It's been a bit of a struggle for the season for Arlington. Should be a good game. Two level match teams.
All right, so now Arlington slated to take the kickoff. They let it bounce, and that's going to be a touchback for the Spy Ponders.
Touchback on the kickoff.
So 1st and 10 for the Arlington Spy Ponders, their offense coming onto the field. And I think Arlington's going to start off with some Wildcat here against Winchester. 1st and 10. That's Caden Mills breaking tackles, running through, and is brought down just past the first down marker.
Yeah, Nick, I was talking to Winchester coach Wally Dembowski before the game. His focus is entirely on Caden Mills. He is aware of the talent that Mills is. Interesting to see Arlington coming out directly with Wildcat, a formation that we're seeing more and more from this Arlington team, trying to get the ball in their best players' hands as often as possible.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Takes a snap, a bit of a high one, but Caden Mills trucking through tackles. 1st down and more, taken down just short of the 50-yard line.
Two very successful, they ran the same play twice there. Two very successful runs by Mills as Arlington gets set on a very good first drive.
So now looking at a 1st and 10 once again.
Still sticking with Wildcat.
That's Mills in the backfield. Takes the snap. He's going to run it right up the middle again. Another pretty good game as he trucks forward for some more yards. Caden Mills starting off the day, faced with his first non-first down of the game, and Spy Partners are going to head to 2nd down.
Arlington has ran the same play 3 times in a row. Very interested to see where this leads. Most teams come out with a script. Interested to see if these are scripted from Arlington or how they have decided to go about this. But 3 straight plays with the exact same formation blocking scheme for Arlington as this sets up a 2nd and manageable.
Taking the snap, that's Mills rather, who's still in at Wildcat. It looked like he was about to throw that time.
Yeah.
Pocket collapsed around him.
Looked like it possibly a fake. Looked like a draw the whole way. It was a pass protection setup, but Mills really never looked like he was going to throw there. About one guy ran on a route as now Arlington sets up on a 3rd and 3.
So now Mills once again in wild, or no, now that's Shiano who ends up pushing through, and I think he might have gotten enough. Apologies for the slow start. We were just trying to work out an audio issue. I think we have it fixed now, but regardless, that's Shiano who rushes. And that, oh no, I don't think they, oh no, I think they're going to give it to him.
Yep, they did give it to him.
First down run by number 15, Jake Ciano.
And that cuts out a bit there. As, yeah, they're waiting for the first down markers to move.
Arlington once again setting up in the Wildcat.
And that's Mills in the backfield. Takes the snap, and he's actually going to hand off, running a wheel around the outside. Not gaining much, however. That was number 34, Ethan Nelson.
Mills sees something he likes. He wants to run something similar.
And not much action from Shiano so far here today. 8:25 remaining here in the first quarter. Spy Ponders taking up a good chunk of time here on this first drive. And
it's been a positive drive from Arlington. Not much to change so far.
And now Mills, they read that, but he shakes a tackle, which looked like it was going to be a huge loss of yards. Turns it into almost a gain of nothing, but better than a loss. So that's going to set up 3rd and long now for the Arlington Spy Ponders.
Great play by Liam Poole, the senior. He knew he didn't bite on that read action fake, and Mills just had nowhere to go. Mills broke that initial tackle, but still just had no room. As you could see Mills motioning to the bench that he wanted to run something off of that play. It was a read off of it. It was a keep off of that play. But clearly well snuffed out, well read by Winchester.
So now 3rd and long, Shiano and shotgun. They're going to call timeout.
Some communications issues for the Arlington bench.
Timeout on the field.
So with that, Brendan, tell us a little bit about how the Spy Ponders have done so far this year. Obviously, we know that their playoff chances are done for the year, but they do have a chance at the consolation bracket coming up in the next couple of weeks. What have you liked from Arlington so far this year?
Well, it's been just about number 8, and whenever the ball is in number 8, Caden Mills' hands, things have been successful for Arlington. This is what happens when you have a player of his capability. This is a legit college-level player that has not been getting a lot of recognition throughout the state. Every time I come down onto the field before the game and talk to coaches, they're telling me about how all they're worried about is number 8, Caden Mills. It's been a really impressive season for him. Very bright spot for this Arlington team. And it's just interesting to see how Coach Matt O'Loughlin and company are trying to get him involved as much as possible. We've seen he's taken, I believe, 7 out of the probably 8 snaps that Arlington has run so far, as Shiano rolls out, fires right, and tackled at the sticks was Peter Harrison, as Arlington is now most likely setting up to punt, I would think, with a 4th and long on the 40-yard line.
And I think you're right about that, Brennan, as the punting team comes on. Peter Harrison has been in a very good wide receiver
nice
for the Arlington Spy
Very
Ponders,
nice
for
bright
this
spot.
year. And earlier today, talking to the athletic directors at halftime, we're going to see that interview that I was lucky enough to talk to both athletic directors with, a full fall recap of all of the sports here at Arlington High. So stay tuned for that at halftime. But now on the punt return, that's number 4 for Winchester, who breaks out to the right side, dancing around and tackled around the 20-yard line. Ben Wilson, that's a junior for the Winchester football squad. Gaspar Pignard with a great punt to set up Arlington in pretty good field position, pinning Winchester at about the 29-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for Winchester. Brendan, tell us a little bit about Winchester's offense.
They've run the same offense for a long time. It's a West Coast style offense, a lot of slip outs, a lot of little quick screens, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands as fast as possible. That's what they do. It's what they do pretty well. Quarterback Harry Lowenstein is very capable, a very capable thrower. Started last year as a sophomore. We've seen him get more and more comfortable within this offense. Last year they had Derek Jancy, a very talented running back, who moved on. He graduated. They've had other very talented running backs. So very interested to see how a player like Lowenstein will manage kind of this season, the rest of this season and beyond. It's a very young Winchester team as they're able to kind of grow and see where he takes them to his senior year.
And yeah, Ryan Doucette with the big run there for Winchester, getting a 1st down already, pinning up Winchester just inside the 45-yard line. Lowenstein in shotgun here for 1st and 10. Takes the snap. And a fumble on the play. I don't know. I think Arlington might have gotten it on it. They're calling. They say they had it. A fumbled snap.
And that was recovered by number 23, Ryan Doucette.
Doucette, after a big run, saves Winchester there, recovering the fumble. And Winchester's offense is going to stay on the field. So now 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 12 rather, as they backed up a little bit and taking it himself up that left side with plenty of room to run down the sideline. I think he might go all the way, but he's pushed out of bounds just inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was the junior Jack Centarelli, a very key part of this Winchester offensive attack.
25-yard 1st down run by number.
You're not going to hear a lot of call-outs from seniors for this Winchester team. It's a very young team, a lot of sophomores and juniors. It's a very, very young team, which Wally Dembowski, talking to him before the game, he seemed comfortable with. You know, he's aware of kind of where they're at in this season, trying to get things going. Again, they had a very successful season about 3 years ago, making it to the state semifinals. Haven't made it back since then, but trying to rebuild from there.
1st and 10 now for Winchester. Lowenstein, a way high snap, and he just has to bounce on it past the 40-yard line. And the snaps by Winchester today have been a little bit questionable. The second fumbled snap. And we might see a change at center as we saw Winchester's coach throwing his hands up.
On the sack by number 4, Darian Perry.
Yeah, tough to get going on offense when when the quarterback has to worry about the snap. They're more worried about the snap than they are the play. As Lowenstein takes over now. Excuse me, they're in their own Wildcat formation here with Centarelli in the shotgun. He steps back, he's rolling left, looks like he'll keep it, and ducks it out of bounds just shy of the 25-yard line, and that will set up a 3rd and manageable for this Winchester team as Lowenstein trots back out.
Play by number 16, Jake Centarelli.
As Winchester has a 3rd and 9 on the Arlington 30-yard line. They marked the ball shy of that 25 where it looked like Centarelli may have stepped out.
So now 3rd and 9, as you said, Brendan. Santarelli under center. We got some noise from the crowd here tonight in Arlington's last regular season game. And they're gonna elect to run, pushing forward there, but not for enough. That was number 23, Ryan Doucette.
You don't hear this a lot in high school, Nick, but they actually are in field goal range.
I was waiting for you to talk about this.
Yeah, the Killian O'Connor, the junior kicker. Winchester has attempted a 52-yarder as well as numerous other field goals throughout the year. This kid has a legit 4-star talent and truly, you know, a weapon to have on a team like this, especially the further you go, the more successful kind of a team you have. It's an imperative thing to have a good college kicker, high school kicker, as this is blocked. It was blocked by the Arlington team. I believe that was Caden Mills firing off of that edge, as this will set up great field position for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Looked like it may have been a false start on Winchester. Arlington takes advantage as now Arlington has a great chance, a little bit of momentum from the bench, and as Schiano is staying out wide, they're remaining with the Wildcat. Caden Mills looks like he'll be set up in the shotgun.
Great play for me to miss, huh, Brendan? I mean, a blocked field goal. First field goal attempt of the season I've seen, and then it's blocked. So good on my part not being around to actually have that play. As a flag flies here as Caden Mills runs it. Plenty enough for the first down, but this one might be coming back.
Caden Mills is averaging about 12 yards a carry so far in this game. Very, very impressive start from Mills. It was a good first drive from Arlington as they stalled out around the 40-yard line, got behind the chains. But a lot of early success from this Arlington offense, which we haven't seen previously, as they got behind the sticks once again. Looked like a holding call on Arlington, as that will set up a 1st and 20.
So unfortunate for the Spy Ponders as it brings it back. Mills once again, or no, that's Schiano now back under center as Kerbel, almost stripped there off the slant route, gets a gain of about 5. And that will set up Arlington for a 2nd down and about 12.
First time that we have seen a pass in this game. It was a little tunnel screen to Kerbel, just trying to get the ball out of Schiano's hands quickly, trying to keep him comfortable, as we're now seeing Schiano in an empty. He's got 3 wide to his right, 2 to his left. Sets, fires left. He's got Kerbel as he is tackled just at about the 37, 39. And once again, setting up a 3rd and manageable for Arlington. Would expect to see something like a screen pass or a little slip screen to Caden Mills. Another reliable target would be Harrison over the middle. We've seen Peter Harrison time and time again come up big, as once again Arlington goes empty. Schiano all by his lonesome. Takes the snap, fires downfield over the middle. He's got Mills spinning across, tackled by a host of Winchester defenders at the 35, and that will be a Arlington 1st down. A great timing throw by Jake Schiano there. He took his 3-step drop from the shotgun and fired Mills right across the middle. Sets up Arlington once again with a new set of downs. Very nice start from this Arlington offense. As we see Mills in the shotgun now going Wildcat again. Schiano split out to our near side. Mills on the keeper as he spun down at the 40-yard line, setting up a 2nd and 5. We've seen a really good variety from this Arlington offense. It's been a lot of Mills, but also trying to get other players involved. Winchester's defense has been on his heels a bit. As we'll see, this is exactly where Arlington's offense sputtered out and stalled last possession. We'll see how well they can move the ball as they once again go Wildcat, same formation that we've seen. Mills got two running backs off of his hips as he drives forward and is met by Charlie Marquardt, the junior defensive lineman. Looks like Arlington is going to call. No, we've got the end of the first quarter. After one, it is 0-0. Arlington beginning to drive. Very impressive start from this Arlington offense. A lot of variety. We'll see where they take it from here.
All right, so coming back in here to the second quarter, Jake Schiano in the shotgun for the Arlington Spy Ponders. And a flag flies. Arlington's thinking it should be against Winchester, pushing forward, but nope. That's going to bring Arlington back into the 5 yards. Not a great start to the second quarter for Arlington, but Brendan, we did see a couple of shining moments for the Spy Ponders there. What did you like?
Well, it was an impressive first quarter offensively for Arlington. A lot of variety. It was a lot of Wildcat. Just trying to get the ball in their best players' hands. It's a really simple formula for Arlington, and it's been working so far. We've seen, they're in 3rd and about 12 here, but interesting to see if they set up a 4th and manageable, will they go for it?
And now a screen pass to Mills, who dodges the tackle, and he's going to go all the way. Finally brought down inside the 25-yard line.
First down pass by
Big gain there by Caden Mills after fumbling the original throw. He bobbled it a little bit, was able to get control, made a nice move, and then broke free for a big gain of over 25 yards.
Well, it was a really nice play by Mills. It was a bubble screen, so he retreats a couple of steps. Schiano threw that ball on the line of scrimmage. Mills had to reach out and get it, but really nice play. I think Arlington may have gotten away with a hold on the corner on the near side.
Yeah, I saw that.
But Arlington now driving inside Winchester's 30.
Schiano shuffles the play up. Takes the snap, a very low one, but gets the ball off quickly. Harrison with a block down the left side. Flag flies, first down, and another flag. So we got 2 flags now on the play after Harrison gains about 12.
Well, it's going to be on Kerbal. It'll be a hold. It was a great play initially by him to spring Harrison free, but he just did a little bit too much. He held on for a little too long. The ref's going to call that every single time. You just don't need that little extra shove. He had it all set, but not to be for Harrison. He did a great job realizing he had a lane, picking up what he thought was going to be a first down.
And we did see 2 flags on the play, so it might be an offset. I think it might have been a late hit on Winchester out of bounds. We could see a personal foul on there, but
holding.
Oh, yeah,
As
they offset.
they are offsetting, so that will replay first down.
Penalties on both teams that will offset and replay first down.
So Shiano utilizing the screen pass to his advantage here. We haven't seen him throw too much this year, especially over the past couple of weeks. It's been a run-heavy offense, although it hasn't been super successful from a score perspective. Caden Mills obviously putting up great numbers, but as a whole, it hasn't been like, you know, extremely productive. So good to see Shiano getting involved in the passing game more here as he's back under center for the Spy Ponders. Mills to his left. 1st and 10 now for the Spy Ponders, and he's going to hand this one off. Not much room for Mills to run. Gains almost nothing, if he lost a yard even.
Nice play by Lucas Fuji, the junior,
No gain on the play.
holding on to that block. That's exactly what the DNs are taught to do. Just grab that inside, hold on, and then shed the block once you realize, you know, look over his shoulder and shed the block. Maintain that outside contain, especially with a player like Mills. You can't let him get outside the numbers with a full head of steam. Really nice play by the Winchester DN there.
Now 2nd and 10. Shiano takes the snap. Play action. He's going to take it himself. Plenty of room to run. And he's taken down just short of the first down marker. That's going to set up 3rd down for Arlington.
We have not seen Arlington. We have not seen Jake Shiano run a lot, but when he has been effective. An interesting play call there, as you would expect a lot of Winchester was selling on the play to Mills. Shiano just tucks it and runs, sets up another 3rd and manageable. Been very efficient, minus the penalties from this Arlington offense so far.
3rd and 2, direct snap to Mills. He trucks forward, 1st down and more. He's taking Winchester defenders along with him like it's nothing. That's going to move the chains for Arlington.
Really nice, slow, methodical drive from Arlington here as they march inside the 10-yard line.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 again. 12 yards to go until the goal line. So Arlington does have another chance to get another set of downs. As we trickle just under 9 minutes left now here in the 2nd quarter. Arlington and Winchester still knotted at 0. Jake Shiano under center. Haven't seen this too much this year. 1st and 10. Handoff to Mills. Room to run, and he's in for the score. Touchdown Spy Ponders. And the first score of the game heads to Arlington.
Arlington basically told Winchester that they were going to run. They brought in an extra offensive lineman at tight end. They brought in number 71, the big Gabe Wallen, motioned him over to the left side, and it was just a numbers game from there. Great blocking scheme by Arlington as they are set up, jumping out to the lead.
And now for the extra point. That's good. So the Spy Ponders lead 7-0 over the Winchester football team. Winchester's offense will come back onto the field. How do you think they need to respond, Brendan?
Well, I mean, the number one is just control the snaps.
Yeah.
You could see that Lowenstein was kind of a little quick-footed there, just a little bit nervous possibly with the snaps, and you know I think Winchester is more than capable of creating a drive for themselves. They just need to control the controllables, which is, you know, snaps, holding penalties, things of that nature.
So now Arlington's kicking unit comes onto the field, and Winchester will get a chance to respond to Arlington. Caden Mills able to put up the first score of the game. And Arlington leads here 7-0 with 8 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. And from Arlington's defensive perspective, Brendan, what do you think they're going to have to do to contain this Winchester offense on the other side of the ball?
Well, it's just keeping everything in front of you. It's a lot of just quick throws. If I was a defensive line coach, as they squib it.
I think they're blowing the play dead. I don't know why.
His knee was down when he caught the ball, or when he corralled the ball.
I don't know if that was intentional by Arlington, but regardless, they end up in pretty okay field position considering just past the 25-yard line. That's going to set up 1st and 10 for Winchester. So Lowenstein comes back onto the field, looking to receive a couple better snaps and get Winchester's offense driving down the field. 1st and 10 now from the 23-yard line. Takes the snap, driving through, 1st down and more, plenty of room to run, and finally pushed down. That's number 23, Ryan Doucet.
It was a great block by the senior captain, Quentin Johansson. He did a great job setting that edge, creating the hole for Ryan Doucet.
So that'll move the chains for Winchester now. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Lowenstein in shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to throw to his left, and grab of the shirts. And we heard that in the crowd too. They definitely thought that there was a grab of the shirt there. Arlington, I think, got away with one on the intended target to Ben Wilson, number 4 for the Winchester Sachems.
It was a
Winchester football team.
It was a good ball by Lowenstein, and I have a feeling that Gaspard Pinard got away with a hold on that one. There was a ref down the sideline, so clearly didn't see or think of it, anything on that, but possibly an uncatchable ball scenario. One interesting thing here, Nick, is that we're seeing Jake Ciano play on defense. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks play on defense, as he's lined up at defensive back in the slot right now. Backs into safety.
Maybe trying to get a couple looks on college tapes for other positions, as running forward there is Doucet. About a 6-yard gain. That'll set up 3rd and 4.
Penalty marker on the play.
But a flag flies. And I think that's going to back Winchester up. Oh, no, that's actually going to be on Arlington. So that'll move the chains for Winchester. Setting up a 1st and 10.
That'll give Winchester a 1st down.
Lowenstein now in the shotgun. Doucet off of his right hip. Double motion. Costello motions back. Firing downfield. Jack Costello wriggles down inside the 5-yard line. A great ball by Lowenstein there. There was a double motion, and Jack Costello was wide open, streaking down the sideline, and he wrestled Ciano inside that 5. Sets up a 1st and goal, and this might be coming back. And it looks like it is. as this now will set up a 1st and 15. That play is negated by Winchester. No word on what the call was. Possibly an illegal motion. Costello may not have gotten set as they motioned him back. It's now Winchester, who's putting together a good drive, is now stuck behind the chains. Lowenstein now hands it off to Doucette, and he is met by number 75, Henry Tassmer, as he continued over for no gain. That was not Doucette, that was Ben Wilson, the junior, excuse me.
No gain on the play. Tackle made by number 27, James Lopes.
And now Winchester set up with another 2nd and long. Lowenstein pointing out traffic. He's got Doucette off of his right hip. As Mills jumped. And we'll see. It was offsides. And there's a 2nd and 10 now for Winchester. Lowenstein in the shotgun now. Fakes the handoff. He's got Wilson. Oh, and he dropped it. Dropped the screen. Looked like something may have been building there. For Winchester, it was a little tunnel screen. Set up very well. They had a good blocking scheme, trying to probably set up a 3rd and manageable. And now they're behind the sticks again on 3rd and long.
And I am happy to be rejoining you here, Brendan, after a short absence, just directing some things behind the scenes. We have everything straightened out now, so thank you for taking over on play-by-play. But some banging in the stands from Arlington, as it feels like there's an earthquake here. Play action underneath, great catch, plenty of room to run, and he slides down. I think he was trying to make a cut, but he slid. Good for him, he avoided the hit, but that's Jack Costello.
Really nice play design there. They motioned Costello into the formation, and they dragged him across. Wasn't picked up by any of the linebackers. Easy throw for Lowenstein, dumping it down. Nice pitch and catch by Winchester, as they got away with the penalty that got him behind the sticks, and then a no gain, as Winchester is now driving inside of Arlington's 30.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Lowenstein in shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands off. Plenty of room to run there, and breaking forward just enough for the 1st down. That's number 23, Ryan Doucette.
Just a simple zone blocking scheme there by Winchester. Nice job setting the edge, and Doucette with good vision finding the hole, setting up another 1st down.
So Winchester's offense continues to drive down the field. 4 minutes, 14 seconds remaining. They're going to try and drain the clock a little bit, possibly make this the last drive of the quarter. As Lowenstein in shotgun once again. 1st and 10. Takes the snap. And Lowenstein tries to take it himself. And Mills with the tackle. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
As you can see, Winchester not in a hurry here. You pointed out possibly winding it all the way down to the end of the half. That's a long way to go when you're on the 12-yard line. But possibly, inside of a minute, trying to prevent Arlington from getting another drive.
Lowenstein hands it off once again, but a great tackle there. That's number 4 for the Arlington Spy Ponders, Darian Cherry.
Really nice open field tackle there. That's a really hard play for a defensive end outside linebacker. Manages to do it, tackle in open space. And now once again, Winchester is set up behind the sticks with a 3rd and long.
So a timeout puts play to a halt. And a pretty entertaining first half so far. We saw a blocked field goal. Arlington with a pretty good offensive drive. Winchester responding nicely, but they're going to have to make a big conversion here on 3rd and long to try and keep their drive alive. But as you said, Brendan, 4-star kicker there for Winchester. They couldn't be afraid to try and kick a field goal.
No, certainly not out of the question. We saw the kicker, Killian O'Connor, hit from 50 in warm-ups. A high school kicker hitting from 50.
Wow.
In warm-ups. So this is certainly within his range, as long as it's not blocked. And as I was saying when they were lining up, that's such a weapon to have.
Yeah.
Really, once they're inside the 30, it's really comfortable. They're thinking they're getting points anytime they're inside the 30.
Lowenstein in shotgun. Takes the snap. And a bit of a toss-off there, but it's not going to go anywhere. Whoa, huge loss of yardage. That's going to go for a flag, but Caden Mills just German suplexed that Winchester running back. Oh, hope he's okay.
I assume they're going to call a personal foul
that
on
was
Mills.
That was a huge tackle. Oh, my God. I've never seen something
that's not a penalty.
I mean,
the refs automatically reach for their flags.
Did they blow the whistle?
No, I don't think they did.
Maybe they called the play dead and we didn't hear it, and then he just chucked him. That would be a personal foul.
That would be. If it was a late hit, it would be. But the refs are talking about it. It's not a penalty.
And he's getting a talking to on the sideline, Caden Mills. But, I guess there was nothing illegal about the hit, but, oh no, I think it's still 4th down.
It shouldn't be a penalty.
I mean, I guess not, but that's like a tough NFL grade hit right there, and we're playing high school football. I've never seen that before. Oh my God!
I can only imagine.
Yeah, no, they are gonna call it personal foul. I don't know about that.
I can only imagine what Dan Killian was thinking as he's flying through the air.
Did he get up? I didn't even see.
Yeah, he appears. He got up. He got off the field.
Right. He went.
But it wasn't.
For a ride.
It wasn't a personal foul because
that
would be
an
automatic 1st down.
I think that's what I heard. That's what I heard PA saying. Brendan's going to check it out, but I don't know. Brendan, what's the scoop?
We're receiving word that it is not an automatic 1st down in high school. It is just the yardage. So that sets up a 3rd and 10 for Winchester.
Oh, okay. So replay 3rd down. All right.
Well, no, it was 15 yards from the spot of the foul. So it was.
Oh, okay.
So where the foul happened, which was about on the 28, 30-yard line.
Play action. Plenty of room to run. 1st down. Oh, fumble. Are they going to rule him down? That was close. He almost got the 1st, but.
I believe that was Jack Costello again. I think he looked down to me, but they're setting it up with a 4th and 1.
Oof. Now, do you send it to your 4-star kicker, Brendan, or are you going to go for it?
I would go for it. 4th and 1. It's pretty, you should be able to just lean forward with a QB sneak and get a yard. but
I don't think they're going to sneak it. Lowenstein's in
interesting,
shotgun.
you know, when you need a yard as he starts to walk up
Okay.
under center. Could just be trying to draw him off.
Yeah, maybe. Looks to the coach, and yep, they're going to kick the field goal. Or they might try and change up the play. But I'm not against you, Brendan. I think they should try to go for it. I mean, 4th and 1.
So
If you don't get it, then you're pinning Arlington so deep in their own end.
Exactly. So that's the theory against it, or theory for going for it, I should say. If you don't get it, Arlington has to go 90 yards in 1 minute and 26 seconds. For, you know, we know that they're probably not going to kick a field goal. So that would be for it. But on the other side of that coin, you can kick the field goal, get the 3, you get the ball at half. You get the ball to start the second half. And that could be, you know, if Winchester can go down and score, they're up 10-7.
But they definitely don't want a repeat of last time, the blocked field goal. And I think actually they are going to go for the field
Looks
goal.
like.
Are they? Oh, no.
No, it looks like they're going to go for it.
Pivotal play for both teams. If Arlington can get the stop, they set themselves up in pretty good position going into the second half. But Winchester looks to tie things up, get a first down, try and get a touchdown here as they take the snap. Direct run forward, he got it, and he's in for the touchdown. Number 16, Jack Centarelli. And that's going to put 6 on the board for Winchester, even though right now it says 98.
I don't.
97, 96.
No, are we going to think we're going to go all the way down?
Oh, that would be unfortunate.
Oh, God.
We are. So hopefully it'll be there by the time the extra point goes. But, yeah, 86-7. And flag flies. The kick is well enough good.
I think it was offsides.
So that makes it 87-7. Okay, no, they're going to fix it now. And make sure, stay tuned with us at halftime. We have a plethora of interviews planned. I was lucky enough to sit down with the athletic director and the assistant athletic director here at Arlington High School, John Bowler and Rich Thornton, to fully recap Arlington High School's fall sports season, as well as sitting down with ACMi's own James Milan, the communications manager at ACMi, to talk a little bit about all of the things that we have going on here at ACMi and our mission going forward and how you can get involved with our sports production. So make sure, stick around at halftime. We'll have that airing with the game broadcast. It really was a great interview. You'll definitely want to check it out. Coming back here, however, we have it 7-6 now.
As retrying. Oh, it was offside, so Winchester might go for it. Go for the 2.
And
bit of a miscommunication from the Winchester sideline, it appears.
Still 1:19 left here in the second quarter, so Arlington technically has enough time to try and make a drive happen. But will they attempt to do so? We don't know. I would imagine they might try to drive down the field with, it's not like it's under a minute. And also, they don't get the ball at halftime, so.
Now O'Loughlin's calling timeout.
Oh. So not putting yourself in great position to try and
a bit of a
utilize those
cat and
timeouts.
mouse game from Dembowski and O'Loughlin here.
We've seen this a couple times this year, O'Loughlin getting into some cat and mouse matchups with the opposing coaching staff, but
there's still some confusion from Arlington trying to get the right subs.
and yeah, they're having a conference there in the field, so hopefully they can get it worked out as Winchester's special teams come back onto the field. And the real question is, will they be going for two? We're about to find out. I think they are.
Looks like they are.
So Winchester with a 2-point attempt to go up 8-7. If not, it'll be 7-6 in favor of Arlington. 1:19 remaining here in the second quarter. And Lowenstein gonna run it himself and easily in for the 2 points. 8-7 now, Winchester leads. And Arlington with a chance to get some points on the board of their own before the close of the second half. What do you think Arlington's gonna do here, Brendan?
Well, they need a drive. They already used one of their timeouts, and if they can set themselves up with a good return, it's more than possible for them to get a drive and, you know, possibly truck a Hail Mary up or, you know, attempt a Gaspard Pinard field goal, something like that. But interesting to see how they will go about this, as the scoreboard now says 7-5 in the 9th quarter.
An interesting game so far. We saw some.
Winchester lost a point from converting the 2-point conversion there.
We are in 5th overtime.
That's right.
What a game. A German suplex and 4 extra periods of overtime.
It's some wild stuff happening.
And now it's 3-7. As we watch the scoreboard, Winchester prepares to kick off. Arlington with 1:19 left to make something happen. A line drive goes flying all the way back in Arlington's end for the touchback. We don't see too many of those here in high school football. But
what's interesting is that this alleged unbelievable kicker for Winchester doesn't do the kickoffs. He's not.
Really?
He's not. That's Kieran Core, the kick, also listed as a kicker punter, and Killian O'Connor is the main field goal kicker, but not the place kicker, which is very
too high of a stock to get injured, maybe?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Possibly just not comfortable kicking off of a tee.
Maybe.
Or maybe they know that they'll get a kind of automatic bullet touchback with Core.
Yeah.
Why are they at 3?
But interesting nevertheless.
Caden Mills now in Wildcat for the Arlington Spy Ponders. He's going to try and take it himself. Gets forward for about 3 yards. And Arlington's offense continues to move. Not giving up the ship yet. But
well, if you're going to go down with
yeah.
two timeouts, it looks like they're just going to run out the quarter.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Yep.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
Unless if they try and throw Winchester off here and throw a quick ball, but I don't know. Jake Schiano in shotgun. Takes the snap. Hand off to Mills. He has room to run down the middle. And under 30 seconds now. Miscommunication between the bench a little bit. We're under 15 seconds now.
Just chuck it up.
Yeah, he's going to try it. Empty backfield. First Hail Mary we might see of the season here.
You can't throw a Hail Mary from here. You got to try to get one out of bounds.
Oh, and they do.
Which they do.
1 second.
There should be 1 second remaining.
Pass completed by
Is it the half?
16.
I guess it is.
I don't know about that. I think he got out of bounds.
I thought we had a second or two.
But, I mean, regardless, Arlington had timeouts to work with, so I don't know about that. But
yeah, interesting management there with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Nevertheless, 8-7 Winchester at halftime. as we head to your interviews, Nick.
Yeah, stay tuned here at halftime. We have a fall sports recap special prepared for you, as well as a sit-down interview with ACMi's communications manager, James Milan. We'll be right back after those interviews for second half action. But in the meantime, enjoy. Your score at halftime, 7-8 in favor of Winchester. Welcome everybody to the fall sports recap presented by ACMi Sports, coming to you from the new Sports Center studio in the Red Gym of Arlington High School. My name is Nick Antonakis, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by the athletic director and the assistant athletic director at Arlington High School. We have John Bowler and Rich Thornton. Thank you both so much for joining me here.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So basically, we're just going to fly through all of the sports that took place in the fall, give kind of a recap on their seasons, and kind of get an outlook of how some of these teams are looking as we go into tournament season.
Sure.
Sound good?
Very good.
Awesome. So we'll start off with girls swimming. I'll direct this one to you, John. How did they do this year?
So, girls swimming had a great year. We're in a co-op with Watertown, so it was Watertown High School and Arlington together. We won the Freedom Division championship this year for the second straight year. We competed in the Middlesex League tournament yesterday, championship yesterday. Results are pending, and then a lot of swimmers are going on to compete in the sectionals next week.
That's definitely good to hear. Hopefully, fingers crossed for Arlington coming out of those results that should be coming out in the next few days. Looking ahead, what else is coming besides those sectionals? Is that pretty much it for this year?
It's the sectionals, and then depending on how the athletes do the sectionals, they could make like the all-state meet. So sectionals, at the end of next week, and then the states will be after that. So a couple more weeks of swimming, and like I said, it was a great year. The team, Watertown Arlington combination did a great job winning the Freedom Division title, and we look forward to these athletes competing at the sectional and state level.
Definitely a lot to look forward to for swimming. Best of luck going forward into sectionals, obviously. And next, we'll move to talk a little bit about a pretty different sport. We have field hockey. Rich, I'll throw it to you. How did they do this year?
Right now, field hockey is a team I think heading into the postseason and someone to watch. They're currently going into their regular season final game tonight. They're currently 8-6-3 on the season. They started off a little slow early on, but the second half of the season they kind of bought into what the coach was teaching, and in their last 10 games they're now 7-1-2.
Wow. And
so they're really on a roll, and they've got some quality wins. They beat Reading, who was the #1 team in Division II.
Wow.
So if they take care of business tonight, they're going to get a good draw probably in the first round of the playoffs, and I think they're a team to keep an eye on.
Definitely. Do you think there's a chance that they could host a playoff game?
Probably not. Probably going to be on the road, but I foresee a favorable matchup.
Definitely good to notice, and obviously the best of luck to them as they go into their final regular season game tonight. I'll throw it back to you, John. We'll move to the track. Boys cross country, how did they do? I heard it was a very successful year.
Yeah, boys cross country. They won the Middlesex League for the third straight year, and 5 out of the last 6 years. They've had a great year. I think they were 4-1 in league play, 5-1 overall, and they're going to be competing in the Middlesex League Championship meet last year on Monday. Last year, I think they finished second overall in the whole Middlesex League between the large and the small division, Liberty and Freedom. But they won the regular season title. Now they're going to be competing on Monday for the league championship, and then after that they'll have the sectionals as well, and then the all states. Where last year they won the Division 1B state title, and then went to the all states. So yeah, they're looking to build on that, but to win 3 straight titles, 5 out of the last 6 Liberty Division titles, it's a pretty great program. They have over 60 kids in it, student athletes.
Wow.
They've done a great job building that program. When I was in high school, we had 8 total kids in the program back in 1990, 92, 93. So it's amazing to see where cross country has come from.
Yeah, at least back when I was in high school, it was like everybody and their mother was doing track, at least in some capacity. So it's crazy to see how small the program was at the start. But sticking to the track, girls cross country, how did they do?
Girls cross country had a phenomenal year. For the second straight year, they're Middlesex League Liberty Division champions. They went undefeated for the second straight year in league play. Last year they won the league meet that's at Woburn Country Club on this Monday, so they're looking to win that again and win the double title, win in the Liberty Division and to win the All League title. And then they're gonna move on to all states sectionals as well, and then hopefully on to all states like they did last year. But it's great. I mean they've been undefeated in dual matches last 2 years, and they're looking forward to trying to win another league meet championship.
Now we shift our gears back indoors. Girls varsity volleyball. Rich, tell me a little bit about how their season went.
Their season, some ups and downs. They're relying on a heavy dose of underclassmen, kids they called up from the JV team. So it takes a while for those kids to get acclimated to what it takes to play on the varsity level, night in and night out. Going into their final match tonight, they're 6-13 overall. Unfortunately, they're going to miss out on the postseason this year. But they're doing a great job of hooking in kids at an earlier age. Coach Liz Morris, she's working with the rec department, and they're getting those kids involved in youth volleyball. So the future for while this year was kind of a building year with a lot of young players, and they also had some injuries. Going forward, I think this program is going to rebound, and you'll see them doing well here in the future. Just one accolade I like to throw out there, senior Fiona Rigby, first player in the program to receive a Division I offer.
Wow.
For next year. And also she's also accumulated 2 milestones, over 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs.
Wow.
And she can add to that tonight to close out her career. So
congrats to her. I mean, that's great to hear, and hopefully as years go on for the volleyball program, they can kind of progress and continue to grow.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Shifting back outside to a sport that we don't really talk about much, the varsity golf team. How did they do this year, John?
Oh, the golf team, they had another winning season. They qualified for the state tournament. They did pretty good at the state tournament, at the sectional level. Because the sectional level, and they had one student make it to the all-state tournament, which was this past Tuesday. So they had a great year. I mean, they get to play on a lot of great courses. Winchester Country Club. They played at Belmont Country Club in the past, Waverly Oaks. So I mean, they get to experience, get to play golf, which is pretty nice for these high school kids. And,
pretty luxurious.
Yeah. But they do a great job there. I mean, like I said, they finished over 500 again for the. For like the 3rd or 4th straight year, and always every match is always competitive, and they do a great job. It takes golf's like a unique sport, and like we only have a varsity level, and but the kids that are on the team are all great kids, good golfers, and dedicated to their craft.
And we move from a very clean sport in golf to a very gritty sport in football. Looking at how Arlington's seasons went, Rich, obviously I was lucky enough to be along for a lot of the journey with the boys, commentating for them.
Yep.
How do you think they did?
Probably a building season. 2/3 of the roster is really freshmen and sophomores, and it takes time for those kids to, as I said about volleyball, that they need, especially in football, they need to get acclimated on what it takes to compete night in and night out at the varsity level. And they're going up against kids, juniors and seniors that are bigger and a little stronger than them at times. They started out non-league. They were 2-1. They had a good win over Medford and also Brookline. Struggled a little bit so far in the league. But tonight going into Winchester should be a competitive game, and they'll have a couple more opportunities to get on the right side of the ledger going forward. So, but I think if you get those young kids in the weight room and get them bigger, faster, stronger, they'll be more prepared to come in next season ready to go. And in the football team, it's healthy in terms of numbers. We have strong numbers in each class, and which a lot of schools don't. So I think we're going to be all right going forward.
Definitely, and like you said, I think there was a lot of points of potential this year for Arlington, but also, some bleak points mixed in there. Hopefully going into the future, the best foot is put forward for this Arlington squad.
Definitely.
Next, we stay back on the field. Another team that ACMi was lucky enough to cover a lot this past season was the girls varsity soccer team. Obviously, I've heard a lot of good things about them. John, tell me a little bit about how they've done.
Yeah, the Middlesex League is one of the best leagues around for girls soccer, and right now we're 12-5 with one game left versus Wellesley tomorrow. Which is great. I mean, you go, so in the league we went 12-4 in the Middlesex League, which is phenomenal. So I think the girls are doing a great job. The coaching staff's doing a great job getting them ready. They have one more tough game tomorrow versus Wellesley, who's like a top 5-6 power ranked team that we lost to 1-0 last week. So it's going to be a great test to show us where we can go and what we can do in the tournament. So hopefully, like I said, right now we're in line to get a home playoff game as of now. So it'd be nice when you get a home playoff game, it's nice because the community comes down and supports you, and all the students come as well. So hopefully we can maintain that home game, and I think the girls have just got better and better throughout the year. So I think it's going to be whether we're home or away in the tournament, they're going to make a good run.
Definitely a lot of excitement for soccer in this town. Obviously, good luck to the girls as they continue throughout their season here. And considering Arlington High School's football team, a big star of that team that doesn't get a lot of recognition is the cheer squad. John, talk to me a little bit about the cheer program here at Arlington High School.
Yeah, the cheer program is it's in great shape right now. A few years ago, I think we didn't have great numbers, but our numbers are great again. The coaching staff's doing a great job, getting them ready for games, and they have a tournament this coming weekend at Wilmington High School. Then next weekend they'll be competing in the Middlesex League championship, and then possibly going on to like the sectionals and states. But I mean they're doing a great job getting prepared. It's a lot of hard work with the choreography, music. They're doing an unbelievable job getting ready, and I look forward to going to the Middlesex League meet next week to support them, and I think a lot of the football players are going to go as well.
But finally, we'll go back to you, John, the boys varsity soccer squad. I heard they were crowned Middlesex League champions just a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Can you talk to us a little bit about how their season unfolded?
Yep. I think they're Middlesex League champs for the third straight year.
Yeah.
And for the second straight year, they finished the regular season undefeated. They were 14 wins and 3 ties. Coach Lance Yazio, he's just done an unbelievable job with the program. He's been here for 20 plus years, and year in and year out, they're always competitive. But the last 2 years, being undefeated in the regular season, it's the players work so hard. The coaching staff's doing a great job. We're looking forward to a great run of the tournament. Right now, we're power seeded 5th, which means we're gonna if we win the first game, we'll be playing at home in the second game. So that's huge to be able to host two games in the tournament, and and they have a legitimate chance to win the whole thing. Last year we were the 8th seed. We lost to the 9th seed Brookline 1-0 in an unbelievable game, and then Brookline went on to win the state title. So right now it's like they're in a great spot. The team's playing well, and they'll get some rest the next few days. But and then they'll find out who they play on Tuesday, and then it should be a great atmosphere here for their first home tournament game.
Yeah, for sure. And as somebody who was lucky enough to cover the boys soccer squad back in high school, I can tell you how hungry past generations and this current generation of players are to finally get that state chip. So obviously best of luck to the boys going forward. And speaking of that boys varsity soccer game that we have coming up, that will be a home playoff game, and ACMi will be covering it. We're looking to debut some of our new technologies that we've developed here at the Sports Center in the Red Gym. So make sure to tune into that game when we find out when it's going to be. We'll obviously broadcast that information to you, and check it out to get a taste of what's coming forward for the winter season in ACMi sports coverage. But for that, I want to thank you both so much for taking the time to join me here today, and we'll go to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be back with James Milan of ACMi to talk a little bit about ACMi's endeavors and the mission behind them. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Center studio here from the Red Gym in Arlington High School, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by James Milan, the communications manager here at ACMi. James, how are you?
I am doing very well. I consider it a privilege, I truly do, Nick, to be part of this first kind of official Sports Center broadcast from this lovely new set here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you taking the time to be here. And we do have a couple of questions for you here today. So first off, tell us a little bit about all the things that ACMi has been doing recently and kind of the mission behind the things that ACMi does.
Yeah, well, this is a really good example right here. The fact that we're sitting here talking in a brand new set in one of the gyms at the high school, because that encapsulates in a lot of ways the two core missions that we have at ACMi. One of them is education. You know a little bit about that yourself, having gone through the process of being an ACMi high school intern. Now you're back as a sports producer. It's awesome. And then the second thing is just kind of bringing value to the community in whatever way we can figure out how to do that. Sometimes, for some people, it is, hey, they have a creative impulse, they want to make a show, they don't know exactly how to do it, but they've got the idea. They can come in, get trained completely on all the equipment and the processes that they need. They can get the support from staff and from interns and from others and volunteers in order to be able to realize that vision. And not just one episode, you know, but however long they can hang in there, we will support them to be able to, first with our help, and second, over time, gradually on their own, be able to produce television. And that's what we are all about. But part of that bringing value to the community is what you guys are doing here. You're covering sports, local sports, high school sports here in Arlington. There's tremendous interest for that. We know that these are among our most popular programs. That never stops, right?
Yeah.
Because each and every year we've got new teams to be excited about, or new families brought into the programs, et cetera, who really want to see the stuff that you guys are producing. So it's really nice to be here and now and be able to talk about this stuff, because this is what we're talking about.
Definitely, yeah, and I guess that's a good way to segue into kind of how much people can do here maybe at ACMi. It gives a lot of people the opportunity, as it did me in high school, like you said, the chance to kind of, you know, develop something that you want to do. I had these ideas back in high school for what I thought sports might look like down the line with the proper resources and stuff like that, and now I'm in a position where I can kind of, you know, put those things and bring them to life. So definitely a thing that ACMi does that can help bring people's dreams and ideas, like you said, to a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So thinking about that more, ACMi is a non-profit, as we know. Many people may not know that. But how do they fund a lot of these projects? For example, how did we fund and get the resources to build this sports center here in the high school, being a non-profit?
Absolutely. This is the key to everything. It really is. And that is, you know, I said we have a couple of core missions, right? We have education, we have bring value to the community. How the hell can we afford to do that, right? That's a legit question, and something that we explain to prospective members or interns right from the get-go, because it's important to know.
Yep.
So basically, the quickest hit on it that I can give you is that we have 3 cable providers here in Arlington. We have Comcast, Verizon, and RCN. They're all operating in town. Each one of them has to get a license from the town in order to be able to operate. Those licenses last 5, 10 years, whatever. Part of the negotiations here in Massachusetts, this is true across the state, but Massachusetts is the only state in which the density is this much for community media stations. But each town and city negotiates with those cable providers and basically says, yeah, you can charge exorbitant rates for cable that people will never use and stuff like that. But in order to do so, you need to set aside a small portion of your gargantuan profits for the operations of our local community television station. In Arlington, we are extraordinarily lucky, in a sense, to have all 3 of these providers. That means that we have 3 sources of income. It means we're a slightly larger station than many, busier, better equipment. Witness this.
Yep.
And again, that ability for us as a staff just to focus on missions that make us feel great, as well as bringing, again, connection and information and entertainment and creativity to the community.
Definitely, that's a big thing to consider. And obviously, as you said, having that, you know, great addition with all these resources of income to help make these great things come to life is something that a lot of our volunteers really appreciate. Obviously, back when I was in high school, being able to participate in such big productions that I felt for the football games and stuff like that was really a big thing to get involved. And when I did, I was just so happy that I had the experience to do so. So speaking to our volunteers out there, what do you think is the most important thing for them to know with all these resources that we have here? How important is their help in making this thing come to life?
Oh, it is absolutely vital, as you can imagine. We have, I said, a larger staff than many other such stations around the state. But hardly enough to be able to cover all the things that we want to cover, and especially things like this, like high school sports, where the bigger the crew in a lot of ways, the more you can do. And there are no limits to the kind of creative ideas that our ACMi production team has for covering all kinds of things, including yourself. As you said, you've had ideas gestating for years and years about how you would like things to look, or what you'd like to try, etc. Well, we can do all of that as long as we have the folks who can man the cameras, who can learn how to do work in the control room, whether that be the control room at our studio or a portable control room such as we have here. And it's exciting to do that, right? People are part of a team. So I can speak to this a whole lot more, but I got to say, you've already alluded to it a couple of times, but this is not the first time you and I have had an interview together. But the last time was several years ago when you were in high school and I was interviewing you.
I remember.
And the reason for that was because you were featured in our annual report because of this wonderful story that you were for our ACMi community. As somebody who had this interest, realized what he could do within ACMi and how much you could grow. So let me just throw it back to you for a second, Nick, and ask you, as you recall and as you experienced, talk about your own volunteer/intern experience.
I guess where it started in high school, kind of what I said before, was like, getting to experience all these cool things that ACMi offered. I always was interested in sports in some capacity. I just never knew how to get involved and kind of make that career that I wanted to have one day happen. So in a way, getting involved in ACMi kind of started to turn the gears and the wheels towards making something possible that was just a dream before. So getting so much experience, whether that started off being on camera, running cameras and stuff like that for the football games, turned into doing the sports update, and then that turned into commentating, color commentary for hockey, and then that's a play-by-play, and so far and so forth, where I was able to build up so much experience to help me really establish myself going into college, like, this kid has experience thanks to all the stuff that ACMi offered me and allowed me to do. So coming back now as a college intern kind of brings me to this chance to kind of pass on the opportunity back to those high schoolers who I was in their shoes a while ago, which was one of the main things that I really was so excited about doing when I was presented with this opportunity to come back as the sports producer for ACMi. I was just like, we had such good, people back then, whether it was youth coordinators or sports producers, that really helped me flourish and grow into the person that I have become today. So having a position to do that and pass it on to the next generation is just something that, I take a lot of pride in, and I'm very lucky to, have the chance to do that. So looking not only at how I've grown from high schooler to now college intern offers the chance with all these resources that you said and how important our volunteers are to the program, how important it is for people at home to get involved. So it's really not possible without the volunteers' work. I say every time that we put together a production how volunteers really help make it happen. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in and say a couple of things from jumping off of what you said. One is, you were able to not only gain that experience, but as you well know, we at ACMi, we're not proprietary at all about the stuff that we're producing. So we want you to be able to take that with you. We want you to be able to make a reel and then show a college, a prospective employer, a prospective intern site, etc., what it is that you can do. And within this field, being able to show folks what you can and have done, much more important than lines on a resume, etc., as you well know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Nick is not that far removed. He's already said several times he's in college at the moment. He's interning back at ACMi in sports producing, but he is not that far removed from that high schooler that he was when I spoke to him a few years ago. Meaning he's not that far removed from you out there.
Yeah.
If you are a family, if you're an athlete, if you are the sibling of an athlete, if you're simply somebody who's interested in video production or cinematography, etc., really, Nick is a sterling example of how much progress you can make at ACMi in a very, very short amount of time. And was it fun?
Yeah, I mean, it was some of
I
my
think
some
so.
of my highlights of high school.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, James. It really means a lot to me how you view me and stuff like that. But talking more about what we have planned in the future and this importance of, gaining more volunteers. And the fact of the matter is, you don't need any experience. I myself, like James said, was in many high schoolers' shoes just a couple of years ago, and I had no idea about any of the aspects of sports production, and I'm still in a place where I have a lot to learn. So this is just a serving point to you can get involved. You don't have to have any experience necessary. Join us, and we'll be able to teach you everything that we need to know, and especially looking forward about all the exciting things that we have coming up in the winter. We have plenty of things planned involved with new technology that we got here at the Sports Center and stuff like that. Helping put that stuff on your screens will involve the help of people at home. And as you said, James, whether it's a parent of a student athlete who really wants to, commentate for a sport that maybe hasn't had commentary before, you want to, make your kids' games feel more lively, or whether you're an athlete who is on a sports team in the fall but isn't doing anything in the winter, but still wants to stay connected to sports in a capacity, ACMi is the perfect way to get involved. Or if you're just a student like I was who was interested in sports, wasn't very good at playing them, and just decided, look, I want to stay involved in sports in some capacity, ACMi offers a place that you're able to do this. So just calling out to anybody who has any interest in sports production or sports in any capacity, contact us at sports@acmi.tv. We'll do anything we can to get you involved and help make these productions coming in the winter so much cooler than they've ever been before.
Yeah, lots and lots coming up in the winter. Basketball and hockey alone give a full schedule of opportunities for people to hone their skills, to join the team, and to make great programming. So we hope that we have inspired at least a few of you out there, at least to inquire and take that step of walking into this area here, to ACMi's Studio A or B, and we'll take it from there.
James, thank you so much for joining me. We'll send you back to second half action from Mary Pierce Field between the Arlington Spy Ponders and Winchester football. We'll send you back. We'll be back at the booth with myself and Brendan Block in just a few. And James, thank you again.
Absolutely, thank you.
Welcome back to second half action from Mary Pierce Field in Arlington. At the break, we had an 8-7 score in favor of Winchester. Arlington will be kicking off the ball to Winchester's offense to start the half. Brendan, what did you like to see from both sides, and what do you think the Spy Ponders need to do to climb back into this and get the win?
Well, it was a big drive from Winchester at the end of the half, a methodical drive that drove down, punched it in with a lot of setbacks. They had some penalties. They got a break with Caden Mills having a personal foul for suplexing someone. And they punched it in with about 1:20 left, and Arlington just kind of wound out the clock. And now they get the ball to start the second half. So if Winchester can go down and punch this in, it creates a very interesting storyline, kind of rest of the game for Arlington. Can they dig themselves out of this hole that they have then created in this, in kind of the last two possessions? So should be an exciting second half.
Arlington sets up to kick off now to Winchester. Oh, onside kick was that? I don't even think that was intentional.
It was. He tried.
I mean, it was intentional, but I think he messed up severely as it ended up trickling backwards.
Gaspard Pinard tried a Rabona. He tried, I believe he's a lefty. And he
tried to switch up.
He steps over his
like
left foot and then kicks it with his right. And he tried to just bunt one down just across the 50. He mishits it and sets up a really interesting idea there. And he sets up Winchester with really good field position on the plus side of the field for Winchester. We'll see how this plays out. A really interesting play there from the Arlington Special Teams unit.
And Arlington's defense now faced with a tough task to put Winchester to a halt in their own end already. And one of the best kickers in the state on the other side of the field from Arlington's defense. So this could be a point-ridden drive, even if Arlington was to force Winchester to go 3 and out here. First run, there's not a lot of gain there, maybe 2 yards. That's going to set up 2nd and 8 for Winchester. And
no Lowenstein to start for Winchester. They're going with
Jack Santorelli.
They're going with Santorelli, who has run it more. We have not seen him throw it. He's listed as a quarterback.
Yeah. Takes the snap. He's going to try and hold it himself. He's swarmed by Arlington defenders. Great tackle there by Caden Mills. That one's legal. And actually, after the first half, I had a chance to talk to some of the PA announcers about that call. It was really the throwing him over his head that wasn't allowed as much as it was the timing of the tackle. So I thought it was more like it was unintentional, like in the motions of him like running, but they perceived that as an intentional over-the-head tackle and flagged him for it.
I didn't know that was a penalty. It's not in college or the pros.
Yeah.
Maybe it is in high. I honestly think the refs it was too big, too aggressive of a tackle.
Yeah.
And
now faking the run under pressure, throws down the middle, intercepted! Running back the other way, that's 23 with the pickoff. Nico Trapsadis. And Trapsadis with the interception, that's his 2nd of the year, but a flag down.
Winchester's offense is staying on the field. Nope, Arlington ball.
So Trapsadis with the interception. Setting up Arlington with a 1st and 10, just short of the 40-yard line. And man, you couldn't ask for a better response to that fumbled onside kick.
Well, it was really interesting. There was pressure in Santorelli's face, and he floated a ball across the middle. That's about as easy of a pick as you'll have all year for Trempostes. And really, really big stop for Arlington there on the short field as Mills gets a gain of about 8 there. But interesting, we haven't seen Santorelli throw the entire game, and he just couldn't step into that one. Floated it up and was picked off. Trapastis jumped the route, and Arlington is now set up with great field position just shy of the 50-yard line.
So now 2nd and 4. Schiano under center. Handoff to Mills, big lane through the middle, breaking free and staying on his feet. Tackled just short of the 30-yard line. What a run by Caden Mills.
They went with that jumbo set again, bringing in an extra offensive lineman as a tight end that we saw down in the red zone. That's 2 big plays that we've seen off of that formation. Interested to see if Arlington will take note of that. If I were them, I would say we're running this until Winchester's stopping it.
Like you said, that jumbo package has been extremely beneficial for the Spy Punters every time it's been played so far here today. So looking to keep that rolling is definitely something that wouldn't be too surprising as Schiano goes back under center here, 1st and 10.
They're sticking with it.
Running again to Mills with room to run down the middle, breaks a tackle, 1st down and more, just short of the 15-yard line. Arlington's offense rolling after that interception.
They've got Miles Donato, number 72, lined up at tight end, and he does a great job getting the seal on the DN, giving a massive hole for Mills, as now Arlington marches inside of Winchester territory, set up with a 1st and 10.
Schiano back under center. And they have the jumbo package again. Mills this time stuffed, but he breaks a tackle, reverses back the other way. Plenty of room to run, and he's gonna score the touchdown. Mills unstoppable here this evening as the Spy Punters take the lead back 13-8.
Well, this is just all Mills doing his thing. He the play gets blown up. They ran at that jumbo side again, and Kerbal missed his block. Kerbal was lined up as almost a wing back.
Yeah.
He missed his block, and Mills gets met at about -3 behind the line of scrimmage, reverses field, cuts it up, and runs over a Winchester safety and just walks into the end zone as he's set up in Wildcat now all by his lonesome.
They're going to call that one dead. Mills would have been in for the score,
time over the half by
but Winchester just gets a timeout just off in time. And the Spy Ponders obviously looking for the 2-point conversion, put themselves back up 7 after Winchester was able to get the 2 points off their score in the first half.
Yeah, big 2-point conversion here. You know, you have to kind of play like you're expecting Winchester to come down and punch one in again. Play aggressive. As Winchester got the 2 on their first drive, so Arlington needs to answer.
8:02 remaining here in the third quarter. The Spy Ponders currently lead 13-8. Could be 15-8 after this 2-point conversion try. We shall see. But an impressive drive there. Great usage of offensive linemen setting up that jumbo package as Brendan detailed to us.
I wouldn't change that for the rest of the game.
It was working extremely well. And they could even run like a play action something.
You can run a lot off of that. I see no reason to change that.
And Arlington going to try for 2 once again. That's Darian Cherry in the backfield for the Spy Ponders alongside Caden Mills. Mills takes the direct snap, runs through the middle. He's going to get stuffed just short, and the score stays set at 13-8, a 5-point game.
Winchester 8.
So now looking for Winchester to respond here, Brendan. What do you think they're going to need to do to push Arlington's defense back after a very momentous drive featuring interception from none other than number 23 for the Arlington Spy Ponders, Nuko Trepsardis?
Well, I would expect to see a little bit more of Lowenstein at quarterback. You know, the Centrelli has been working as kind of a run guy, but we saw what happens when he steps back and throws. He threw a little floater, and you know, Lowenstein's been effective throwing the ball. He's probably only thrown it about 3 or 4 times, but he gave a good ball down the sideline that looked like it could have been pass interference on Arlington. He's given a couple good balls down the middle. So that's what I would expect from this Winchester offense.
So Arlington sets up to kick off back to Winchester. 8:02 remaining here in the third quarter from Mary Pierce Field in Arlington. The Spy Ponders in their last regular season game of the season as they look to go off on a high note going into the consolation bracket games next week. We'll keep you posted on if and when those will be covered by ACMi if they're at home. And off the kick return, pretty good one, getting past the 30-yard line to about the 33. And Winchester's offense will come onto the field. And a pivotal drive for the Red and Black as they look to get a score in response to Arlington's electric drive. And all eyes are open for Lowenstein, and he's back on the field. So 1st and 10 for Winchester. Lowenstein under center. In shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands off, he's tripped up. That was number 23, Ryan Ducetti.
Loss of 5 on the play.
So Ducetti not with the proper start he would have wanted for this Winchester drive. Gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage and actually going to lead to a couple yards lost as Lowenstein now faced with a 2nd and 14. Lowenstein now takes the snap. He's gonna take it himself, and now it's a fake running all the way down. Plenty of room to run, and what a response there by Doucette.
Really nice little trap play there from Winchester. They set it up. The linebackers all bit on the fake by Lowenstein. And Doucette was off to the races for a gain of about 40. And now Winchester on the plus side of the field looking to punch it in.
1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. Winchester's offense sets up. Lowenstein in shotgun. Takes the snap, gonna hand it off once again. Doucette with a spin move through the middle of the field. Just short of the first down marker, and a good run for Winchester there once again.
Yeah, Doucette's starting to become a little bit more effective as a runner. We saw them try to get the ball to him in the first half. And now 2 big runs in a row there by Ryan Doucette. Winchester waiting for the signs from the bench. Looks like a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Now they've got the call.
Lowenstein back in shotgun. Looks like the same play structure from last time. Arlington might have jumped early, but they get away with it. Doucette, enough for the first down, pushed out of bounds. And that'll move the chains for Winchester.
Yeah, Doucette's starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm here. He stumbled on that first play, on their first play of this drive, but a couple big plays in a row here. This is when you can work play action off of that run action for Lowenstein as they line up 2 wide receivers on the near side of the field here.
And again, trying to communicate with the bench. Lowenstein, 1st and 10. Looks like a reverse of the last play, I think it's going to be. He actually decides to hold, throw down the middle, and just out of reach. He was looking for number 6, Emmett Goodrich, a sophomore. Oh, no, excuse me, that was Jack Costello, number 6. We saw Jack go in motion a couple of times. That led to those run plays. That time they flipped it, and Lowenstein decided to throw just out of the reach.
Yeah, it was play action off of that same kind of scheme that we saw from those first couple of plays.
Yep.
And, not a whole lot there for Lowenstein to look at, to throw at.
So 2nd and 10 now. Lowenstein hands it off, trucking forward. Pretty good gains, still going forward. And we got a player down. Doucette with another big gain, but we have a Winchester player down and not moving. We saw the Arlington Spy Ponders wave their hands to bring somebody over, and he's still down. Five minutes, 31 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Arlington leading 13-8. A Winchester player down. We see him sitting up, which is a good sign, and I think he's going to try and get to his feet here. I don't know exactly what it was that caused him to go down, but he's walking off the field under his own power now. A little bit of a limp. Well, not really a limp. It might be a concussion-related injury if he's a little bit wobbly walking off. But obviously we wish the best for him as he heads off the field. Regardless, that's going to set up 3rd down for Winchester, 3rd and 8 to be exact.
An interesting thing that we haven't seen from this Winchester team so far is a player by the name of Dan Killian. He's a sophomore. He set the Winchester High School record for track and field 100 meters as a freshman.
Wow.
Talking to
a run outside.
Nice play there by Kerbal,
yeah.
keeping everything outside.
Yeah, but continue.
Talking to Coach Wally Dembowski before the game, he says he can absolutely fly, but he's never played football before, and he has no idea what he's doing. And he
Classic
said,
high school case.
I mean, he was like, this is one of the most just raw talented players I've ever had in my career. At Winchester. He's been at Winchester for about 15, 20 years now. And he said he absolutely flies. They put him back for a kick return, and he took it to the house.
Wow.
But I think he probably has some ball security issues.
Have we seen him at all today?
I've not seen him today. He did tell me he probably won't get the ball tonight. But allegedly, this kid, someone to look forward to in the future, this kid can legitimately fly.
Winchester's going to try and go for it on 4th down. At least it looked, but now they call a timeout. And Arlington's bench happy that they might have just egoed Winchester's offense off the field with that one, with all the noise they were making. So
why wouldn't you kick the field goal if you were Winchester?
I know. I mean, especially with a 4-star kicker like we've seen. That makes it a 2-point game. They could even win the game with a field goal in that case, but maybe they don't trust their defense to halt Mills and crew.
Very interesting strategy from Dembowski on the Winchester sideline.
So 4 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Again, very interesting to not see this Winchester kicker that we've heard so much about as they look to be going for it on. It can't be a 4th and goal. I think the guys that are running the sticks have kind of fallen asleep at the switch here. We got 2 guys talking to each other. There he goes. There he goes. As he
back to the stick.
there he goes.
It's going to be a 4th and 6.
Picking up the sticks now. 4th and 6.
No. I think he got in the wrong. Oh, no. Never mind. I thought he got in the wrong spot for a second. They were calling it back. But regardless, play action. Wide open. Costello in for the score. And Winchester back in front. Great play design there. Costello was wide open coming off the block.
Yeah, really nice there. He kind of a delayed route. He set up to block like it was going to be a run, and they just slipped him out. Easy throw there for Lowenstein, and he just dumps it off. Costello has a walk-in touchdown and might expect Winchester to go for 2 here again to make it a 3-point ball game.
I think you're going to be right about that, as
an interesting little tidbit that we've had that Wally Dembowski's had in his playbook for a long time is a little variation of the Philly special.
Yeah, we saw that a couple
where
times.
He tosses it to the quarterback. They've ran it multiple times. They've ran it for a long time, but they're going bunch set.
Whoa.
4 wide on the left. They fake the screen.
And, he's going to throw. Wow, what a play. That's number 23, Ryan Doucette, who got the reception. Lowenstein tried to take it himself. Got jammed at the line of scrimmage. Tossed it off. And then wide open for the score. So I guess it was just a delayed screen. I've never seen anything like that.
I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah, maybe it was improvised?
I believe that looked like it was improvised. As he was going down, Doucette tosses technically a lateral back to the wide receiver, and it's just a walk-in. That was pretty unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
Considering the quality of game we have here, just considering the records of these two teams.
Entertaining football.
I know. And, very intelligent football from a lot of perspectives as well.
Yeah.
Impressive to see. And regardless, now Winchester leads 16-13. 3 minutes, 57 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Schiano and Arlington's offense looks to respond here. We've seen a lot of energy from the bench, from the crowd. A great final regular season game here for Arlington as they look to respond to that outstanding drive by Winchester with a score of their own. And that just goes flying all the way back for a touchback. I don't even know if
that's the second kicker.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not,
you said that again.
That's not even the 4-star kicker.
Yeah, because remember, you said he doesn't take the kickoffs, right?
That was.
But even their second string is killing it. Not technically. I guess you would want to aim for the one, but he's a powerhouse kicker regardless. So
that's very, very impressive.
So now Schiano and crew come back onto the field. Looks like they're going to be running Wildcat to start the drive at the 20-yard line. Caden Mills heads to the shotgun. And while we see Schiano, he's always left open there, but we've never seen a ball go his way. Actually, now his number 8 shifts over to cover him. Mills is going to try and run it himself, trucking through. And he's put to a halt about 4 yards after. We saw number 55 for Winchester trying to make a case for a penalty.
A lot of success off of that Wildcat formation for Arlington tonight as they head into it again with Mills, 2 running backs off of both of his hips.
Low snap, Mills gets it, runs outside to the left, plenty of room to go. Just enough for the first down as he's brought down around the 35-yard line. So now Schiano might be shifting back under center as he's talking to the OC. A little bit of a back and forth between the two. But regardless, Schiano runs back to the huddle. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from about the 31-yard line. Schiano with Mills to his right. Takes the snap, play action. Schiano's going to try and take it himself, and he's swarmed by Winchester defenders. Brought down for a big loss on that one.
Well, it should have been a false start on Arlington. The right tackle did not get set, and then he jumped and he moved. They did not catch it. And then it looked like that same right tackle held on the same play. But Winchester was able to sniff that QB keeper out.
Yep.
And not quite able to get around the edge was Schiano.
Now Schiano, Mills in motion. 2nd and 15. Takes the snap. He's going to look to throw under pressure, and he's going to be sacked for a huge loss.
Lucas Fuji, really nice.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Really nice play there by him. He comes unblocked on the edge, didn't bite on the play fake, and just steps up. Got his hands in Schiano's face, couldn't let him throw it away. Schiano basically had to take the sack, and he came up frustrated with the offensive.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yep.
Throwing up his hands at the bench immediately after. We saw him confused before the play, And now he came back to have a word with the offensive coaching staff, as that clearly didn't go the way that they wanted it to. So 3rd and a mile. Shiano takes the snap, empty backfield. He's going to look to throw down the middle, incomplete. Intended target was Caden Mills. And Arlington's going to be punting this one away.
Well, he didn't turn it over, which you're probably satisfied with. Then that's not a shot at Shiano or anything. It's on a scenario like that, a draw play, a little screen, little flat and under routes. If it hits and they break one loose and you get a chance at the first down, great. But the last thing you want to do right now when you're down 3 heading into the 4th, give Winchester a short field.
Yeah.
And
very high snap.
And a
Still
nice
able to get
punt.
the punt away. Received at about the 45, running all the way back, and that's number 45 who's decked.
That's Killian. That's the kid who
He got hit hard. I believe that was by Miles Donato.
Tackle by number 72, Miles Donato.
And it was Donato who got the tackle. 27 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Winchester still leads 16-13 over the Arlington Spy Ponders. And not much of a return there from the track star, but regardless,
12 yards.
yeah,
11,
I mean still pretty
yards.
good field position considering the how far Arlington was pinned in their own end. So now, from the 44, 1st and 10. Costello in motion, lines up on the line of scrimmage, takes the snap, taking it himself, now out to the outside, makes a nice move around the first down marker. That's number 16, Jack Centarelli. So back to the scrambling QB tactics for Winchester.
Yeah, this is more of an expected move from Winchester. You're trying to drain some clock,
Yep.
keep the ball as long as possible, and your quarterback, keeping it in your quarterback's hands, certainly not a bad decision.
And Arlington's going to need a stop on this one, especially if Winchester's going to continue to drain the clock. They cannot give up a touchdown and go down 10. Centarelli going to try and run it again. A pack of Arlington defenders don't let him go too far. It's going to set up 3rd and 2. And that's going to end the quarter. Time will expire. 16-13 as we head into the 4th. Winchester leads in Arlington's last regular season game of the season. And after a short in-between quarter break, we'll be right back with 4th quarter action.
First down run.
Centarelli on the carry there.
Jack Centarelli.
The QB keep, sweep to the left, and he picks up another Winchester first down, and they are driving inside of Arlington territory. Santarelli in the shotgun. Doucette by his side. Costello motions across. He gives to Doucette on the left side, met by a host of Arlington defenders, drags them across, and that will set up a second and short, second and about 3. Santarelli managing the offense really well right now, trying to drain as much clock as possible, keep the ball out of Arlington and Caden Mills' hands. Santarelli takes the snap, he gives it off, and that will set up a third and short. That was Doucette again on the carry. Third and about 2.
Tackle made by number 4, Darian Cherry.
So 3rd and 2 now. Thank you, Brendan, for filling me in there as Winchester is set up in the red zone. Santarelli back in shotgun for Winchester. He's going to try and run, and he's just going to get in. Arlington had good pressure going forward.
Yeah, you need those cornerbacks and linebackers to keep contained, try to send that play back inside. They couldn't quite do it, and Santarelli was able to duck ahead for a first down with 10:14 remaining.
4th down on the
I think they're going to mark him short.
That's a horrible spot.
Yeah, I thought he got that clearly, but they're marking him
Really?
short.
Not a lot of protest from the Winchester bench.
He just gave up on that one, I guess, but they're going to go for it.
Again,
And Arlington in the stands, they're going crazy.
I don't understand why you're not kicking this.
Yeah, make it a 6-point game. I mean, maybe because they assume Arlington's never going to kick a field goal, so. QB sneak, that should be good. Yeah, that's plenty.
Looks to be. Yep.
First down on the run by number
1st and goal now for
16.
Winchester, and if you're Arlington, you're going to need a goal line
Jack
stand here.
Santarelli.
Just under 10 minutes now left here in the 4th quarter. 16-13 is our score. Winchester in front. And actually, it's not 1st and goal yet. It's 1st and 10. They're going to have another chance to get a first down.
15-yard line.
Yeah. Santarelli takes the snap. He's going to try and run it out to the left. Arlington defenders there, but just a little bit too late. They push him out, but after a gain of about 6.
An interesting little wrinkle that we're seeing from defensive coordinator Mark Regan. They're sticking 72 Miles Donato as a linebacker, and he's shifting across formations. We saw him as a tight end in that jumbo set that they've been running. But here he is
On the play by number 16, Jack
listed
Santarelli.
playing as a linebacker, trying to go really hash mark to hash mark.
He's a big guy, too. I would throw him on the
Tough.
defensive line.
Yeah, you would think so. I would test maybe some not the Winchester has been working here, but some spread formations, try to get him out wide as he
Santarelli.
missed the tackle there.
And he's going to be marked just short. 3rd and 1. From the 6-yard line now.
Arlington going heavy again on defense. They're bringing in Daniel Mota and Gabe Woolen. Big offensive, defensive linemen. Must be expecting Winchester to go goal line here.
3rd down and 2.
So 3rd and 2 now. Santarelli back in shotgun for Winchester. Takes the snap, hands it off, stuffed behind the line, and a fumble. That's Arlington's ball.
Fumble on the play.
Another big turnover on defense at a pivotal moment for Arlington. Leads them to recovering the ball. That's senior captain Jacob Kerbel, who gets the fumble recovery for Arlington, and now they're pinned in a great position. Only down 3, but they're going to need a response from their offense.
Yeah, great play by Kerbel. Blowing up the play. It was big boy football, man on man, goal line against goal line on that 3rd and short. Kerbel blows through the tight end and was able to meet Doucette in the backfield and force a fumble as they were going down.
So now Schiano back under center, running the jumbo package, 1st and 10. Caden Mills makes a cut, has a lane, 1st down and more, past the 20-yard line. That'll move the chains.
Well, poor Ben Wilson had Caden Mills dead to rights in the backfield. Mills plants his foot in the ground, cuts upfield, and before Wilson knew it, he was about 15 yards beyond. Mills was about 15 yards past him.
So now 1st and 10 again for Arlington from the 22-yard line. That jumbo package doing wonders for this Arlington offense. I'm surprised. Have we seen it in games before? No.
We've not.
I wonder why.
We're seeing more spread stuff as they go here.
Schiano now in shotgun. Quick pass out to his right. Who but Peter Harrison has plenty of room to run. Just short of the 1st down marker with forward progress. I think they're going to give it to him.
That's pretty close.
No, I think they're going to mark him just a yard short. I thought I saw yeah, they're going to mark him a yard short. I thought I saw the chains moving, but I guess not. Peter Harrison, regardless, with the 8-yard reception. 2nd and 2 now. Schiano in shotgun. Takes the snap. Caden Mills breaks a tackle, driving forward. I mean, it takes like 5 guys to try and bring this guy down, but finally they do for a loss of yardage. Mills just shaking off Winchester defenders left and right.
That was all set up by Joe Guida, number 13. He blew up the play, shot that gap, and was able to slow Mills down enough where another host of red helmets were able to bring him down, as this sets up a pivotal 3rd and 4 for Arlington.
Schiano back under center. Caden Mills out to the right, 1st down and more. He's going to head out of bounds inside the 40.
A bit too easy there for Arlington. You know what's coming, and you just can't stop it. Kind of a slow reacting play from the Winchester linebackers. Weren't able to fill the gap. The defensive end wasn't quite able to send it back inside, and easy gain for Mills there.
Mills already with 2 touchdowns on the day. Has absolutely dominated for the Spy Ponders. Schiano shuffling things up. 1st and 10 from shotgun. Mills in motion. Schiano now going to try and take it himself, and oof.
I think he ran into his own guy.
Yeah. Sent him flying regardless, and that's going to now set up. I think they might have lost a yard. They did. 2nd and 11.
Well, an interesting scenario here as the clock continues to wind down under 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how Coach Dembowski on the Winchester side uses his timeout. He has 1 left.
Yeah.
Have to think that Matt O'Loughlin is thinking use as much clock as possible. It's taken them about 5-ish minutes to go 30 yards. So not very efficient, but they are using clock and they are moving the ball. But interesting to see how much. I would expect them to start throwing the ball very soon.
Schiano now, pitch to Mills, reverses direction, makes another move, breaking tackles, and I think at the end of the day, he didn't gain anything. After all that. Actually, he did. My fault. It was 2nd and 11. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A missed tackle there by Jack Costello in the backfield could have been a huge play for Winchester to set up Schiano to force to throw the ball. Instead, now you can kind of have your whole playbook wherever you want it for Arlington. But that clock continues to run under 5 minutes now.
And yeah, I mean, now we're in a place where Arlington doesn't have time to punt.
Arlington needs to keep moving.
They got to go. This is 4-down territory they put themselves into, so a little bit of pressure on the Arlington offense now. Mills is going to run it. Plenty of room up the middle. Speed, he breaks a tackle and finally brought down inside the 30. Loses his helmet, but he's still up unfazed. And I think after your helmet comes off, you got to go off.
You do, unless Matt O'Loughlin wants to call a timeout. They went with that jumbo package again. They brought in the extra lineman, and it has continued to work for Arlington as they continue to take their time here.
I don't think they want to give Winchester any time. I mean, regardless, unless if they're planning for like a crazy scenario where they miss the extra point, and knowing that Winchester has this 4-star kicker behind them, they don't want to put themselves in a position where Winchester has enough time to set up for the field goal. But that's even in the stance where you don't make the extra point.
Yep.
So Ethan Nelson now with the run. He trucks forward for about 2. Not even, I think 1.
Winchester is just begging Schiano to throw the ball. They don't even have a safety lined up.
I was going to say,
they're stacking about 7 or 8 guys in the box with just corners on these wide receivers. Would expect just send Kerbal on a go route, throw the ball up and see what happens. But it looks like Matt O'Loughlin is trying to milk that clock as much as possible.
Even try and catch some. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Down to 3:25 and counting.
Try and catch somebody on a slant if there's no safety. The middle of the field should be wide open if your wide receiver can beat the man inside. But regardless, Schiano's going to hand off again to Mills, who trucks forward, bursting a defender down, and now he gets the first. We're down to 3 minutes remaining here. 13-16 your score. Arlington trails by 3. And Mills having himself a heck of a day. Under 3 minutes to go. And Arlington, I don't think is going to put a rest to this run game. Mills has been unstoppable.
Just keep going with that jumbo set and force Winchester to stop it.
They got to hope, though, that Arlington can put themselves in a position to score.
Exactly.
Because clock continues to run down. We're under 2.5 now to go.
Do you?
Mills stuffed.
Now you start entering the territory. Do you trust Gaspar Pinard to attempt maybe a 20-yard field goal, 23-yard field goal?
I think that would be the biggest moment of his high school career so far. We've never seen a field goal attempt.
From if they were to snap from the 10-yard line, that would be a 26-yard field goal, which is a long way. So, if you get behind the sticks here, then, what's the strategy from there as that clock continues to duck down, 1:43 and counting?
They're going to run Wildcat. Mills under in shotgun, and now we're going to get a timeout. By who, though? I think Winchester.
No, that's by Arlington. That was by O'Loughlin.
But I don't get it. I mean, you had the clock run that long, but then you call a timeout and put it to a stop. So you're wasting a timeout in the event that you need one, but you still lost all that time on the clock for how long the play took to go underway. Maybe he just saw something he didn't like from the formation, but
well, Winchester walked 2 linebackers up in the gaps, and I think they were anticipating that draw play from Mills. And I would assume that that's what Arlington called, and they weren't able to punch it in, or they weren't able to kind of diagnose or change anything off of that. So a timeout by O'Loughlin. Talk things over. It also gives him a second or a minute to kind of diagnose where we are with the clock. What do we want to do? if we have a 4th and short, do we want to go for it? Do we want to try to kick it?
And like you said, Brennan, that possibility of a field goal would tie the game at 16.
Exactly.
We haven't seen an overtime game in high school football here at ACMi since my junior year of high school, which was 3 years ago. So could we see possibly the first overtime game in over 3 years here covered by ACMi? Or is Arlington going to be able to get in the end zone for a score? That's Shiano who takes the high snap. Thrown, caught by Kerbal. Flag flies. Kerbal's not able to get in. If anything, he lost yardage, but...
Yeah, really nice play by the defensive back there. I believe that was George Nelson at defensive back, able to didn't bite on any of the fakes or the motion across with Harrison, and was able to diagnose the screen as
they declined the penalty. It was on Arlington, a legal man in motion.
So Harrison didn't get set.
So now that's going to set up 3rd and 8. I bet Winchester's begging that Arlington just tries the field goal. But what do you do here if you're Arlington? You think they're going to try and run?
The clock continues to run.
Oh, this is scary for Arlington. Shiano trying to talk to the bench. In shotgun, Mills to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off. Blockers on that left side. He tries for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Spy Ponders! Mills breaks 3 tackles, a 15-yard run, and with 58 seconds left, an extra point is all the Spy Ponders need to make this a must-score touchdown for Winchester.
Well, that was, it looked like he was going to get stopped in the back. Well, it looked like Chiano might fumble the snap. They looked a little confused in the beginning. He hands it off. Looked like Mills would get stopped short of the first down. Looked like he would get knocked out inside the 10 and just continued to run over Winchester defenders.
This is a big moment here. Gaspard Pinard needs to make this. And he does. Probably the biggest pressured moment for an extra point of the year. 20-16, the Spy Ponders lead. But Winchester not out of it. They have 58 seconds, but they're going to need a touchdown.
1 timeout as well.
And I think for the first time today, we're going to really have to start seeing some passing plays from Winchester. That should suggest that number 10 for the Winchester boys, Henry Lowenstein, re-enters the game. What do you expect to see from this Winchester squad, Brendan?
Well, they had a game similar to this against Woburn on Thanksgiving in Fenway Park last year. It was a back-and-forth battle, and Lowenstein brought them down with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and they scored a touchdown to take the lead.
Wow.
And then they gave up a touchdown with about, as time expired, I believe. But Lowenstein is capable of a comeback as they have Dan Killian back to return. Interesting to see if all of the Winchester kicks have been all of the Arlington kicks have been in that direction.
You don't want to kick it to him on this one.
Interested to see if they're aware of
his prestigious status. I guess not.
Possibly the fastest sprinter in the state. Back returning kicks.
And a little bit of scrambling by Arlington on the kickoff. 58 seconds. Is this going to go to the track star? Oh, no. A squib. That sets up Winchester in great position from the 40.
Well,
you saw it almost hit his leg. They just hopped on that right away. They're like, oh, no, we can't give this up.
It could have been an absolute disaster for Winchester if it touched
it almost hit that guy's leg.
The up man's leg. I believe it was just a miss kick. That was certainly not intentional. And now Winchester has a very short field, 54 seconds and 1 timeout. to go the entire length of the field. As good as it gets right here, Nick.
Lowenstein, like you said, has done it on the biggest stage in them all at Fenway Park. Let's see if he can do it here tonight at Mary Pierce Field. 1st and 10 from the 41. Lowenstein takes the snap. Plenty of time to throw and wide open down the sideline and just brought down inside the 15 by number 10 of the Arlington Spy Ponders, Gaspard Pignard. And that's number 4, Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson on a double move. It was a slant and go, and he just toasted Gaspard Pignard.
Oh, and now they're going quick. Fake the clock. Oh, and it's almost intercepted. Oh, my God.
It was tipped.
Just through the hands.
It was tipped. He was looking for a slant across the middle, and I don't think Shiano expected the ball. The ball just came directly into his hands, and now Arlington calls a timeout.
They need to regroup after that.
With 38 seconds remaining, a lot going on. I wish we had replay tonight.
We will in the winter, hopefully.
I wish we had replay tonight, Nick, because that double move by Ben Wilson on that first play of the drive and a great ball by Harry Lowenstein down the sideline sets up Winchester. Should be a great finish. The ball's on the 15-yard line, 2nd and 10.
If only Lowenstein put a little bit more juice on that throw,
it would have been a walk-in. It would have been a walk-in touchdown.
The fact that Wilson just had to wait a split second for that ball to get to him gave just enough time for Pignard to make up for his previous mistake and get the tackle. But and then who but the quarterback who's playing defensive back, Jake Shiano, who almost gets the interception for Arlington. Final regular season game for the Arlington Spy Ponders, and man, fans in attendance are not sitting down for this one. This one is not over. 38 seconds remaining, 20-16, Arlington leads. Winchester, 2nd and 10.
Interesting to look for Jack Costello. He's about 6'2", on the outside. Would expect possibly just a 50-50 ball from Lowenstein to big number 6.
He takes the tap, time to throw. Caught by Wilson, and he's going to go out of bounds, stop the clock.
Really smart play there by Wilson, and another smart play by Lowenstein. He had pressure in his face. All he had to do was dump it down. Sets up in a 3rd and 7. Really nice.
3rd down now.
Nice play by Wilson to get out of bounds as well.
30 seconds left. What a finish here at Mary Pierce Field. Lowenstein. Look at that, Arlington signaling. They know that the run to the outside might be coming to the left.
You got one-on-one coverage up top to Wilson.
Lowenstein takes the snap. He's going to look to throw. It's caught. Breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Winchester.
Touchdown, Winchester.
23 seconds left to play, though.
Harry Lowenstein,
And
number 23.
You got to assume they're going to go for 2, right? They don't want the chance of... Oh, no. They got to go for 1, because if Arlington tries to kick a field goal. Gaspard Pignard, though, he's the kicker. Could he make up for his...
What a play call from Wally Dembowski. It looked like a drag route to Wilson. They sneak Ryan Doucette out of the backfield on a wheel route, and the linebacker doesn't pick him up. An unbelievable, gutsy play call. What a drive from Winchester as they march down in less than a minute, in 40 seconds, in about 4 plays.
Not even, like 35.
And
wow.
What a play. Unbelievable.
False start. Oh.
Flag on the play.
This could be more painful to Arlington than they may realize. If Winchester tries to go for 2, then this is a touchdown, must-score touchdown for Arlington.
I wouldn't expect them to go for 2. I would,
Yeah, too risky, I guess.
You wouldn't.
Oh,
what
man.
A finish.
But, I mean, don't let me speak too soon. I know you're a Winchester native. But in that game you described, they scored a touchdown, minute and a half left on Thanksgiving. But blew the game in
Virtually,
the waning
virtually,
seconds.
virtually the same
We
scenario.
could get the same scenario here.
A
So
very, very similar scenario
for our Arlington fans, it may not be over.
to this Winchester.
Extra point is good. But now 23 seconds for Arlington to try and make something happen.
So the question is, how do you guard against Mills? How do you prevent Mills? If you're on that Winchester bench, you're saying anyone except 8 is beating us. Let them throw it to 17. Let them throw it to 6. Let us do anything except let 8 beat us. As they have 23 seconds, 1 timeout, 3-point ball game. And how important now is that Winchester kicker who can touch it back? They're now going to set up Arlington as they finally send Mills back. We've been asking for this all year, Nick. They finally send Mills back.
Last game, final 20 seconds. We're finally going to get it.
So if this ball ends up on the goal line, will Mills return it?
You do not want to send it to Mills. You better pray if you're Winchester that you're sending this one back for a touchback. But I don't know. 23 seconds, 20-23. Winchester leads. 2 scores in the final minute from each side. And while things seem bleak for Arlington, we just saw Winchester drive down the field in 35 for the score. And he's respotting the kick. Yeah, they're trying to avoid kicking this one to Mills.
I would expect to see this go through the end zone.
Yeah.
Give Arlington 8 and say, we're making you go 80 yards all the way.
Flames that one back. It's going to be short. Mills is going to have a chance. Mills running through. Breaks the tackle. He has room on the left. Down the sideline, past the 50, in the 40, and now 12 seconds left. Arlington's in good field position. Only down 3. Winchester did exactly what they didn't want to do. They kicked it to Mills. His first return of the year is for 60 yards. And man, Brendan, we still have a game.
This is not over yet. Arlington with
but
one.
Mills, look at, he's a little bit shaken.
Arlington
Okay,
with 1 timeout remaining. You have possibly, you can use the entire field with the timeout. You can use it once. Use the timeout, and then you just have to take shots at the end zone. And I guess give yourself a chance. You know, if you get it down inside around the 10-yard line, you don't be afraid to use Gaspard Pinard.
Let me just say, though, really quick before this play, if I, in fact, messed up the recording and you are only seeing the second half of action, you know why. Because in most cases, we would not air that to TV. This second half has been insane. So hopefully we do have the whole game on recording. Hopefully. I'm very hopeful that I did not mess up the record deck and actually accidentally overwrote the first half recorded. But
positive thoughts. Positive thoughts.
But regardless, I mean, you get to see this second quarter.
We have the recording. What an unbelievable second half. What a football game.
Why don't you sub up the first half, just in case if we don't have it, Brendan?
Well, it was set up. It was kind of a sloppy first half for Winchester. A couple turnovers, a couple of bad snaps, and as usual for Arlington, it was just the Caden Mills story. They started out with a lot of wildcat, a lot of just draws up the middle.
Two touchdowns from Mills.
And in that first half, he was averaging over about 10 yards a carry, it seemed like. And we are set up for quite the finish here.
And I want to just thank our volunteer crew. We have Arson and Greg on camera. We have Drew who rolled in. I was trying to direct and commentate at the same time. We had Drew roll in as a surprise. He's now directing. So thank you very much to all of our volunteers who came here today to help us out.
Watch
12 seconds.
Watch for a quick little screen here. Try to get to possibly the 30-yard line and duck out of bounds for Arlington. What can't happen is this,
confused.
and you're going to use your timeout. You have to snap the ball.
They can't use the timeout.
You have to snap the ball.
They can't use the timeout. He takes the snap,
There's
throws
the
to
screen.
Mills.
They
What
used
happened?
the timeout. They
Oh,
used the timeout.
no!
You had an entire time to set that up. And Arlington uses the timeout, and now things become much more difficult for this Arlington Spy Ponders offense. That's an unbelievable, unbelievable turn of events. Things just became increasingly difficult for them.
This has been the craziest game I think I've called in a long time.
That is.
We've had a wonky scoreboard, a crew that I was trying to run at first, and then we had a surprise crew member show up. We have possibly the first half doesn't even exist to the viewers. We have possibly the craziest end of the game I've seen in a long time. 2 scores in the last minute, a 60-yard return by Mills, and now a fumbled timeout. 12 seconds left. They have no timeouts left. They got to aim for the end zone or they're out of bounds on this one. Mills in motion. Schiano takes the snap. They're going to run it to Mills. He's got to get out of bounds. He does. He gets out. 5 seconds. This is the last play of the game.
So now you have to throw out the shot.
Are you going to try the field goal?
You can't try the field goal from here.
You don't think?
That's a 45-yard field goal. College kickers can't hit 45-yard field goals. There's no chance. There's no chance you can try the field goal. And you're seeing how much that timeout hurts Arlington.
That really does.
As now you could run a little out and try to get 3 yards.
They're not. Here we go. Final play of the game. Schiano under pressure, throws, drops.
There should be
1 second.
Possibly a second left.
1 second. They should have
they're
one.
Winding the clock. They're winding the clock. 1 second left.
Wow, Arlington giving another gift.
Is it?
Oh, wait, what?
That's the game.
Wow. Winchester storms the field. I know internally you're happy, Brendan.
I'm not.
But
I didn't even graduate from Winchester High. I
forgot about that.
I have no
But I mean,
rooting interest in this game.
I mean, all I can say is congrats to Winchester, because kudos to them driving down the field 35 seconds to get a score. That's just incredibly impressive. And Brendan, take us out. What did you see from both sides? This might be our last game of the year, considering what we see from consolation bracket scheduling next week. But what did you see from this Arlington team? What did you like?
What an unbelievable game. What an unbelievable finish. This was probably the most complete game that we've seen Arlington play all year, and they just couldn't get the job done. They were set up, and it just couldn't happen for them. A really disappointing finish for this Arlington team, but what a great win for Winchester. And God, that was unbelievable. Truly,
what a game.
Truly unbelievable.
What a game. Definitely just the biggest back and forth I've seen in a long time in covering high school football. And we give credit to all of the Spy Ponders if this is our last game of the season. We saw a chance there for the Spy Ponders to try, to get back into it. A back and forth finish, but unfortunately it ends in a 23-20 loss for the Spy Ponders and a win for Winchester. If there is consolation bracket games here in Arlington, we will see you back here in the next couple of weeks. But if not, thank you so much to everybody for watching. Thank you to you, Brendan, for coming along with me this season and calling these games. So that'll do it for us here at Mary Pierce Field alongside Brendan Locke. My name is Nick Antonakis. Good night, everybody.